After we saw Las Vegas Raiders RB Josh Jacobs limping away from the sideline on Sunday, fantasy football managers have been left up in the air as to whether he will play this week. With fantasy playoffs either starting this week or next, a player of Jacobs' caliber would be a big blow to lose at this point in the season. Let's take a look at the latest injury updates coming out of Las Vegas and whether Jacobs will be playing on Thursday Night Football in Week 15. Is Josh Jacobs going to play Week 15? Somewhat surprisingly, there appears to still be a chance that Jacobs will play in Week 15 when the Raiders face the Los Angeles Chargers. Despite being listed as a non-participant at practice all week as he deals with a quadriceps injury, Jacobs got the questionable tag on the final Raiders injury report ahead of today's game. Normally, if a player doesn't practice all week, he tends to be ruled out on the final injury report. However, with the short week, Las Vegas could just have been cautious with Jacobs so that he was available Thursday. It still seems likely he will be ruled out during the day Thursday or listed among the inactives, but at this point, we just have to wait and see. The good thing for fantasy managers is that we'll find out Jacobs' status ahead of the first game of the week, so there will be no guessing games. If this was a Monday Night Football game instead of Thursday, Jacobs would be a much tougher proposition for fantasy managers in Week 15. Interim head coach Antonio Pierce spoke to the media ahead of practice but had no injury update on Jacobs. He did tell the media, "If Josh Jacobs is ready to go, it's the Josh Jacobs show. Let's not get fooled by that one," when discussing the plan at RB in the final few weeks. That would suggest that if Jacobs is active, we should expect to see a healthy dose of him. However, it would be wise to be cautious on that front. Even if Jacobs was active, there's always a risk he aggravates the injury and has to be removed from the game. At that point, fantasy managers are stuck with whatever stats he has accumulated to that point. More. PFN's free NFL playoff predictor. It probably makes the most sense to take the path of caution here with Jacobs. Unless we hear that this has all been about resting the veteran and he'll be close to 100% against the Chargers, then it would be dangerous to have him in your lineup. Of course, that somewhat depends on the health and skill level of the potential replacements, but it's worth considering. Potential fantasy options if Jacobs is out include Ameer Abdullah and Zamir White. If Jacobs is out, then the Raiders' backfield is likely to be handled by a combination of Ameer Abdullah, Zamir White, and Brandon Bolden. The Raiders could also elevate Sincere McCormick from the practice squad to provide depth at the position. However, the bulk of the work in Jacobs' absence would likely be handled by Abdullah and White.